significance of it selling out for a volleyball match? You've been around a lot. What's the significance of that?
I think it's a testament to the fan base that Nebraska has. I know we say this all the time, but our fans travel really well. Like, we saw what happened for football in Maryland this past weekend. So we all know that the fans travel well and that we have a lot of fans around the country. So I think it's exciting for Michigan, too, to have that many people at their match against us. And, I mean, I hope for their program that it continues to grow. And I have a lot of connections back to that program with a lot of my friends there. So I'm excited to see them again. And it's always fun playing in front of a big crowd, so I'm just grateful that we can bring our fans to Ann Arbor.
I didn't want to interrupt. Arbor, though, obviously coming off of the Big Ten Player of the Week, I know the accolades are just you focus on the team, obviously, but what does that mean you get the award?
Yeah, it feels great. I feel like the Big Ten does a great job of recognizing people all across the conference, and I'm grateful that they saw that in me the past week. So I don't know, that Tate McRae concert must have fired something up in me for sure. But I'm just grateful, and I'm really glad that they recognize that. But I feel like we've all been putting in the work, so I feel like eventually it's all going to show through for everyone, and I hope everyone can get honored the same way.
Allie, how have you kind of embraced this new role of being able to come off the bench, and you provided a big spark in the last match?
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely not necessarily easy, but I think in practice, that's when it starts, is like regardless of what my role may look like at practice, like embracing that and doing that to the best of my abilities. And I think that transfers over into the matches, and it's not necessarily like harder to do it in matches if that's what I'm doing every day in practice. But yeah.
What have you learned about, like, from doing that? Because you're obviously used to, like, playing a lot, but how have you kind of adjusted to that change?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I talked to Jordan Larson about this the other day, but you have a lot more respect for people that come off the bench and play well because it's not an easy role to have at all. But I would say just like it makes you a more mature player. You have a lot more maturity for like when you do get your opportunities, like really embracing them and going out there and like playing with no regrets. And I feel like that's something that I've really tried to focus on is regardless of when I go in, it's like, am I going to walk out whether I play well or whether I don't, like being regretful. And I think like I haven't been recently, so that's something I'm really proud of. But yeah.
How much time do you have? I mean, is it like, Allie, you're in now, or Allie, we'll give you a few points? What is it?
It's more like, Allie, go. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm on the sideline warming up my shoulder. But, yeah, it's a little bit of quick notice sometimes. Sometimes I know a little bit further in advance. But, yeah, you got to always be ready. So, yeah.
What have you seen from her in that role?
Girls. When Allie came on her visit here, I was assigned to hang out with her, and we went to dinner, and I got to know her really well. And I believe I was the first person she called when she committed here. So I feel like we've built that relationship the past few months, and I'm really proud of her. And I know that she wants to continue to play volleyball after college, and she's gonna get those opportunities. But it's just really cool seeing not only Allie, but a lot of the other girls that aren't necessarily starters come off the bench and perform for us. And I know we like to call them game changers, and I feel like that's exactly what they're all doing. And like Allie said, it gives you a different perspective on what type of player and what type of teammate you grow and aspire to be. And I feel like they're all really embracing that and doing an amazing job because, you know, coming to a school like Nebraska is not easy, and everyone has the dreams of being on the court, and that's not going to be the case for everyone all the time and for every game. But I feel like that's something all the girls on our team are doing really well, embracing their role and being cheerleaders for us on the sideline whenever they can.
Ali, what does it mean to those of you that aren't necessarily starting every match? Like Danny said, hey, everybody's going to get a chance to play, and here she is in a conference season, and that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like it says, like I think it shows that like Danny's true to her word, but that also, like regardless of your situation, like you have to be working hard wherever you're at, because at some point when your opportunity does come, it's like, are you going to embrace it or are you going to let it pass you up? And so I think that's something that I've really had to work on off the court is like, you know, when I get my chance, like how am I going to react? And even when I don't get my chance, how am I going to react? And I think, like I said, like that all goes back to the maturity piece of like, it takes a lot of maturity to go in and play well, but it also takes a lot of maturity to kind of wear humility and stand on the side, but know that it's for a greater reason. So I think that's something that I'm trying to do really well right now is like, be very humble about where I'm at and just kind of wearing humility proud. But yeah.
Harper, your hitting percentage is up 60 points from last year. What about your game has evolved to allow you to terminate at a higher rate?
Yeah, I think I've talked about this a few times, but I think it just comes with maturity. You know, I've played college volleyball for 3 years now, and you grow a lot mentally, physically. I feel like my IQ on the court has grown a lot, and that's not something you realize in the moment. But, looking back to my games my freshman year, my sophomore year, I'm kind of like, I'm seeing the growth in myself. And I think it just comes with how I view the game and being able to slow it down in my head. And I think I talked about it last week. That's what I've been able to do with blocking, but finding a way to do it with everything, not just blocking, with the pace of the game, watching the other hitters, seeing what their shot is, all the little things like that most people probably wouldn't see. But yeah, I think just overall it's just growth on my end and continuing to experience college volleyball in the way that I know and grow as the best player I can be, and just continue to take opportunities to learn and to grow from those. And of course, hopefully it pays off in the end.
One of your preseason goals was consistency. Do you think that's been a big factor for that?
Definitely. I feel like especially passing, I know I'm not getting served the most right now, but I feel like that's a good time for me to, take a step back, because I already have a lot on my plate when I'm on the court. I have to do everything. So not getting served, it's kind of a little bit of a weight lifted off, because I can worry about the next thing. I can worry about the hit. I can worry about playing defense. So I think I have been a lot more consistent. But like I said, it truly just comes with experience and growing as a player.
Allie, was it like sitting in the bench area watching what Harper and Andy did in that first set at Purdue?
It's awesome. It's good to see all their hard work transfer over too. They've been working so hard in the gym, and I just see it every day. And so it's really cool to be able to watch them go out there and just kind of let it play out. And yeah, I love being their biggest hype man. They do so much for the team, and I want to see them win so bad. And so yeah, I love it. Makes me excited for y'all.
Allie, I guess this is a little bit different for you, being a part of a team that's undefeated, number one team in the country the past 7 weeks. Just maybe you as a teammate, how have you adjusted to all of the winning, and then also just how are you, I guess, being kind of that cheerleader role at times, on the bench and just supportive, I guess.
Yeah, it's really cool. Obviously we haven't lost a game yet, so that's really exciting. And just to be a part of a winning program that's winning so much, it's really cool. But I think, yeah, it comes with a lot of hard work, and there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that take that, and it kind of, that's what gets you there. And so I would say, like I said, it's awesome, and it's really cool to be able to embrace that role, whatever that role looks like. But yeah, I feel like God put me here for a bigger reason than just volleyball too. So it's how can I continue to pour into my teammates and be that light for them regardless of what my role may look like. And so I think everyone has a role, and it's how do you play it to the best of your ability in order to ensure that the team is successful. And so that's something I've really had to continue to just check myself with, is how am I doing every day at that. But yeah.
Ellie, obviously you've been competing against Virginia, but how have you seen her just settle into her first college volleyball season?
She's done great. She's done awesome. I know coming from overseas is definitely a big adjustment, but I think she's a really good person, and it's been cool to be able to bounce off of each other and to help make each other better. But yeah, I think she's done a great job.
Harper, John, not putting a big emphasis on defense. What are all the reasons you think you've still been a good defensive team this year?
I think it starts with blocking. We know Becca's a great blocker, and we have a lot of good blockers up there, and I think that's something that Nebraska takes pride in. I know we're one of the best defensive teams in the country, and I know it's been like that for a while, so I think that's just something that we come into every season with intention to continue to be good blockers, continue to have good floor defense, because that's a tradition we want to continue, and that's kind of I don't know what the word is, but it's kind of like a pillar for Nebraska volleyball is defense. So I think that's just something we have intention with every day in the gym, and that's just something that comes with Nebraska volleyball, and we know that, so we take pride in that.
Ellie, one of the other things you've been involved with is working with the radio network.
Yes.
What have you been doing with them? And I've heard a couple interviews with your teammates too. What's been going on there?
Okay, so I want to go into broadcasting post-grad. I want to play a little bit longer, but I definitely want to do that kind of down the road. And so I've been trying to just build as many connections in that as I can. And so I was talking to Jessica, and I was like, hey, do y'all have any internship opportunities? And she was like, yeah, you're welcome to do stuff for radio. And so I've been doing it, and it's been really fun. And it adds a fun little culture piece to it of I get to connect with my teammates and ask them fun questions. So yeah, it's been really fun, and I really enjoy it.
What's one question we should be asking Harper right now?
Oh, how does it feel to be Big Ten player?
No, I already asked you that.
I can't ask you that, but I don't know. At the end of the interviews, I always ask a funny question. I think I asked Skylar, it might have been Skylar or Campbell, that I asked, well, I did an interview with Skylar, but I didn't record. I know, well, y'all know how that works. It sucks. So I interviewed Campbell, and I asked her, who she'd want to be stuck on a deserted island with, and she was like, this has nothing to do with volleyball, and I was like, exactly. So I asking, the fun little, crazy question at the end, so I don't know. I'll have to interview you next.
What's my fun, crazy question?
Girl, I don't know right now. I got to think about that.
Okay.
Tate for a while too.
Yeah, I can't ask no Tate McRae questions anymore. I've heard enough about that. I love her. She's great, but I'm just like, I can't.
So, Allie, who would you want to be stuck on a deserted island with?
Either Harper or Ryan, because it'd be really entertaining.
Thank you.
I feel like that says enough.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
She said I think she called games down there. Remember us talking about that, or she did? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Remember, yeah, she talked about that a little bit after practice. That's what she was making sure.
Interesting. Dylan talking. I'm just gonna read Mitch's tweet. Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola and Matt Rule. He ain't going nowhere. On the Penn State speculation, Raiola says it's just people stirring stuff up and making it bigger than it is. Adding, quote, it doesn't really matter what he says. His wife loves it here.
That's gonna be such a bummer when that gets quoted to be like, well, this didn't age well.
Yeah. If Dana showed up at announcing scholarships, Dylan can do that, right? Sections.
Oh, the last one? Yeah. Oh, when she was talking about, asked them, like, who would you want to be stuck on a deserted island with? I asked her a question. Okay. I thought it was funny.
My favorite part was Harper saying.
She said it was.
She was mouthing me like.
It's funny how Allie's like, I interviewed Skylar, but it didn't record, so I just interviewed Campbell.
Yeah, I mean,
You could have just
been there. Like it's never as good the second time you do something.
It's true. It's just
Just the downer of losing.
and us,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah. That's the absolute worst.
I'll never forget. I got cut off, I think, like 3 or 4 times in a row. One time when Harper was talking and she kept looking at me and laughing. That was pretty funny.
That was a PBA, wasn't it?
What?
That was a PBA. Was that a PBA?
No, it was here.
Oh, it's here. Okay.
It was here. I'm just like, I do get cut off a lot at PBA though, but that's for men's basketball press conference.
Well, when we were there for first serve,
I didn't get cut off a ton. A little bit, but
felt like you and I were in the front row.
It was definitely here when you
Yeah.
just gave up. You're like, oh, well.
okay. And then she just looked at me.
Oh yeah.
I hate when that happens. I tried one time like 5 questions in a row.
I remember this.
Oh my god. To the point where every time there was a new question, a player would look at me and someone else.
I think that's what they need to like have.
Yeah. Well, so in a men's basketball press conference a couple years ago, I got cut off like 3 or 4 times in a row, and CJ Wilcher like stopped them. Amy,
Go.
do you remember this?
I don't know. I can't remember if I was there.
It was a midweek presser.
Yeah, I probably was.
But he like stopped them. Just like, Amy, what do you have to say? It was so funny.
I'm really curious now. I hope it was a good question.
It was more on like, he had said something really interesting on like calisthenics and yoga and like meditation stuff, and I like wanted to dig into it deeper.
Michaela has thoughts.
Oh.
Make sure she wasn't heard.
Questions?
Well, it's selling out another gym on the road, selling out Michigan. I mean, what we were selling out basketball arenas like you did at Rutgers and now Michigan. Do you take pride in that you're filling up these big venues on the road?
Oh, for sure. It's the road games have been the biggest surprise to me, and it's not that the games are sold out, because I feel like I was expecting that. It's more the people that are crazy about Nebraska volleyball and the support we have. It's not just like volleyball people that enjoy watching any volleyball. It's true Husker fans, and to see them there and know people traveled really far to come watch us on the road. It's unique. There's nowhere else in the country it's like that. I can guarantee that, and I just it's such a blessing, and it just makes road games almost as fun as home games.
We were talking to Allie and how kind of she stays locked in the mindset when she doesn't get very much time sometimes when she gets sent into the game too. What do you see from her on Sunday against Purdue that really kind of, I mean, she came in and was very effective?
Yeah, she's been playing really well in practice, and I think once our roles started settling in and she figured out what her role could be, I think that's when she really started to excel in practice. And then it's like opportunities are going to find her, and I kept telling her that's for sure. If she's practicing great, it's going to be easy to put her in, and for long stretches of times, for short stretches of time. And I just thought her swing was more powerful, and she just had this way about her on the court. I think that just elevated our play. She was talking the whole time, and I don't know, I just really appreciate that what she was able to do. And again, it gives us more confidence to do that in the future. And sometimes with those opposites, which I know is hard as a player, it might not be because somebody's playing poorly. It's like maybe we just need to switch things up, and that's a good position to do it because they're both so talented and they both can get kills and they both are physical. So there's not there's a big difference between them, and one's right-handed and one's left-handed, which could throw off the opponent. But for our team, it doesn't disrupt our rhythm or change things. So again, that's tough for them, but I think they're both figuring that out and realize that we're going to need them both to accomplish our goals this year.
How do you find that balance between maybe letting players kind of play through some struggles, knowing that you have good options on the bench that could also come in and help?
Yeah, again, it's hard. Sometimes it's a gut thing. Sometimes you want to see players get through it. Other times you want to give players experience. So you just kind of try to have a balance of that and pick the right opponents. And so we have a little bit of a plan as a staff going in, like this could be a good opponent for so-and-so if we feel like there needs to be a change or if we feel like there's an opportunity for one. But a lot of times it's gut. But again, sometimes there is maybe something we see where we already have that in the back of our head.
How have you seen Allie grow since she's been here over the last few months?
I think her approach to practice has gotten so good in the last couple of months. It's just like every day she's really consistent. And I think she's becoming a leader in her own way, even though she's not starting, which I don't know if early on she would have thought she could do that. But I think she's becoming a really good leader and somebody our team really looks to, and especially in times of stress. And then I just think her overall play has improved a ton. So I think she's putting more pace on the ball on her attacks, and then her blocking has improved quite a bit.
It's kind of hard to believe this, but the Big Ten Player of the Week award from Murray was actually the first in her career. She got 3 Freshman of the Week awards 2 years ago. But just where have you seen her really elevate her game? She said that she's grown mentally, which has also just helped her have a better hitting percentage and better play on the floor.
Just the consistency of an all-around 6 rotation player, and like her passing numbers are fantastic. I mean, she barely gets served because she's passing really well, and so I think she's took a lot of ownership in that part of her game, which that's probably the toughest thing to do as a 6 rotation player is be consistent with serve receive, and then it makes everything else feel a little bit easier. But I think she's just been able to deal with different sets and use the whole court at a really high level, whether she's roll shotting or tooling the block or hitting hard cross. So she's just really improved. And now I think the back row has come into play for her, and she realizes that it can be such a huge part of her game, and we're using it, more in system or more when things are going well instead of just when things are not going well.
She mentioned that you guys are going to have dinner at her house. Just this trip for her, especially where she came as a player and just as a leader, just how important is that, I guess, for her as well as just her camaraderie with the team, kind of to show her hometown, I guess.
Yeah.
To back the
I love going to players' houses on the road. So if we're close to anybody, I think it breaks up the trip. It's fun. It gives everybody, including the staff, a different perspective of a player, seeing where they grew up and how they grew up. So I think it just creates a little bit of a homey atmosphere. And I've never been to a player's house left thinking that wasn't a great time. So I'm excited for that. And I think our team will be very appreciative of a longer road trip, being able to break it up and enjoy a home instead of a hotel.
The two teams you play this week both have setters that are Nebraska natives. I mean, Leon from Southwest and then Burke from Scott. I mean, what is there a sense of pride that Nebraska girls are out there running the show for Big Ten teams?
For sure. And I did my radio show today, and there's 74 Nebraska players playing Division I, which is crazy. Many in starting positions at Power 5 schools. So I think it's just a lot of pride in that the state is a volleyball state through and through, and from the highest level to the smallest level.
There's also a scheduling quirk. You played Michigan a couple weeks ago, and you play Michigan State twice in the next 2 weeks. I mean, does that allow your team to? I mean, you don't have to do as much scouting, I imagine. What does that do for your game plan?
Yeah, it's kind of nice because you can focus on you, and we can do things that we're really just working on ourselves versus focusing on an opponent. Sometimes in the season you forget to take that time on yourself when you're going from opponent to opponent to opponent. So these next 2 weeks, again, playing Michigan and Michigan State so close together, we can reach like, oh yeah, I remember that from 2 weeks ago. We don't have to spend as much time. So it'll be a good week of training.
With your defense, what is it about the players that you have on this team right now that you guys should be really good on defense this year?
I feel like Nebraska's always really good on defense, so I don't know if it's like this year's players that are really making a huge difference. I think our digging is excellent. When you have Laney, Liv, Harper, Terea, and then Bergen are all 5, 6 fantastic defenders, especially for their positions. I just think our block is doing a really good job of reading too. So if we're not touching it or blocking it, typically it's going in the direction of a defender, and I just think they're pretty dialed in. I also feel like the maturity of a team. They're all seasoned players except for Terea, but very old players that have had a ton of experience. Liv started last year. Laney's been a 2-year starter. Harper, they've all played a lot of volleyball, so it's not surprising that part of their game has really picked up.
Looked like Laney had a really good passing week last week. I know she's been targeted this season. How have you seen her kind of settle in the whole passing rotation over the last few weeks?
Yeah, Laney, I think, just needed to get a little confidence back, and I don't think the staff was ever worried about her because she's such a great player, but you just want to see somebody excel at their max potential, which is our job, to get every player's max potential out. So to see her pass well for a weekend on the road, especially on the road against a great team, I think that was a huge step forward for her game, and she'll just continue to build on that.
What has Allie added to the team culture? You mentioned they look to her in moments of crisis, and just have a player like that, it brings her experience, buy into a role where she's getting
Again, I think it's just she's buying into a role that is tough, and she has a lot of experience. She's a really great person. I think she connects with everybody from all walks of life. And so I think it's just somebody easy that they can look to. Like, she's been through a lot. She's truly doing everything she's doing for the team. And I think they also trust her when she goes in, she's going to deliver. And so, that just bodes to leadership. If you can be trusted, off the court and on the court in big moments, they're going to look to her for help.
Have you seen anything from Michigan State yet?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of film, not a ton, but they're feeling good, and I'm not surprised because Kristen Kelsey is a great person and a really good coach, and I'm not surprised at all that team is playing very hard for her.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you.